Today, I'm going to be showing you and unboxing the CVLIFE BearMight ED, which is a 6-24x FFP Rifle Scope or optic. Really excited to see exactly what comes in the box, especially at the price point this is offered at. Let's go ahead and open it straight up. So this is probably one of the biggest unboxings I have ever done here, and I'm very excited to actually open this up and show you guys the BearMight ED. Honestly, I wasn't sure what was in the box when it came, just due to the size. And I know it's not going to be the full size of the box, but it's still super exciting to see exactly what comes in here regardless. There we go. Okay, it is actually larger than I thought. It is almost the full size of the box. Really, really cool. So it comes with some nice foam inserts to protect it. We also got this little white box. We'll see what comes in there. And we have spare batteries. Seems like additional attachments and things. So let's look into this, see exactly what comes in here in total. So we have our owner's manual inside of the Ziploc packaging. I think that's the best thing to open up first. So it's showing us our reticle, what it looks like, what the different MOAs and ranges mean. We have a throw lever. That's one of the attachments that come in here. So essentially this would sit inside of the optic, and that way you can easily make adjustments just by moving the lever. A zero stop ring as well. And then we of course have our lens, we have our windage and elevation adjustments, and we have our on and off for the reticle as well. So very, very cool. It's telling us about parallax adjustment, ocular focus, turn adjustment, and more. So very in-depth manual. I suggest if you pick one of these up, definitely go through it so you know all the details of what this includes and how to actually use and operate the optic essentially. Over here, we're also going to get our essential tools. So this looks to be our mounting option tool, as well as some screws, so we can make those adjustments as well. And here we're going to get our rings to actually mount this on, right? So the scope itself, which is over here, doesn't have the rings built on just yet. That's something we're going to add. And then you would be able to mount this onto a Picatinny mount to use on your rifle platform. So it comes with both rings, which is nice to see. And you can see the weight and different parts that these come with. And then that should be all of the pieces. That should be everything that comes here. So let's go ahead, take off the foam, show you guys the actual optic. Okay, so I got the scope outside of the packaging. You can see over here in terms of scale, it is a fairly large size, and it also is a hefty weight. Not too heavy as to the point that this is going to sit on top of your rifle and be cumbersome or annoying, but definitely should hold up to some abuse. If you were to knock this into, so let's say, a tree or some kind of wooden post, it should still hold zero and do its job. You can see here it has the maximum torque of 18 inches labeled on there. Very, very nice that that's included. And I assume once that this is installed, you can easily take this off. It's just a simple piece of paper. So this is the actual optic. It comes with all of our adjustments and dials. As you can see here, they feel really smooth. Like you can make these adjustments very, very incrementally and smoothly, which is great to see. Same thing for over here for our windage adjustments on top. So these are satisfying clicks. These are definitely going to use some force, but over time, that should also wear down as you actually use the optic. It's going to be easier to make these slight ticks and adjustments without moving the entire optic or platform. But of course, these are the kinds of things that you'll be able to do and then refine your zero, compared to this, where you're magnifying, you want to be as smooth as possible. So really great to see all of those right out of here. Let's go ahead and see what this looks like. Here is my backyard. You can pause the video there if you want to study and detail that. And then for the rest of the video, I'm going to be showing it to you through the optic itself. So starting off is going to be a 6x magnification. That's the default on this optic and the minimum that you can have it on. So as you can see, 6x is still pretty freaking far in terms of distance to the end of the backyard to that white fence. I want to say it's about 35 yards. And then to the house following that, there's a whole nother backyard between the two of those. So it's a pretty good distance right there, probably like 70 yards at that point. It's pretty far. And this is just on 6x the default magnification. I will show the different magnification levels as well as different brightness adjustments. Now, the maximum magnification is 24x. So yes, you're able to go from a 6x scope all the way to 24x, which is pretty crazy. That's definitely super, super far. When doing so, the reticle itself is going to change. So you can see here how it's expanding a little bit and showing your basically point of impact of what that could be at those varying distances, which is actually really, really nice. And you can see the illumination is still staying there throughout. There are 6 levels of illumination adjustment, so you can go from very, very dim to pretty bright. I believe in most of these clips I am showing pretty bright or the highest brightness, but of course you can dim this down in a setting where you might want to, or especially if you're doing some nighttime shooting. Since this is a scope and not a red dot, you do have to deal with a limited distance of eye relief. Now on a red dot, where you can look through the glass at any distance, you're going to be able to look through it. There's unlimited eye relief, but on a scope like this, you're going to have a fixed amount of eye relief, and that's going to depend on how far you are zoomed in on the object you are looking through, as well as how close your eye is or how far your eye is from the optic itself. Now, in this video, it is very apparent that there is some eye relief discrepancies, meaning that you're going to see this blackness coming about. Now, in real life, it is not as bad, and that's because the optic is typically mounted onto a rifle. Here, I'm doing everything freehand, so do keep that in mind. It is super clear and very sharp. CVLIFE is saying that because this is an ED lens, it is going to let in more light than your other regular competitor scope lenses, which is going to help you, especially in those low light situations. Now, the specs of this optic overall is going to be a Christmas-tree MOA reticle. That's going to be the reticle type. Your reticle position is first focal plane. Your eye relief is 3.6 inches to 3.5 inches. So it's a very specific amount, but when you actually have this mounted, I do have to say it is much easier to actually look through. The field of view is going to be 22.5 to 4.5 feet at 100 yards. Your click value is a quarter per MOA. Your windage range is 60 MOA and your elevation range is 75 MOA. Finally, your parallax adjustment is 20 yards to infinity, and the total weight of the optic is 35.5 ounces. The optic itself comes with everything you see here included, which is the tube itself, the flip-up lens caps, the scope rings, wrenches, throw lever, sunshade tube, 2 batteries, the lens cloth, and of course the manual. So all of that comes in this kit when you purchase it, and the optic itself is actually also shockproof, waterproof, and fogproof, and it's built of solid aircraft grade aluminum. So this thing should definitely last a good while, get through any conditions that you're going in, and should also be able to perform when you need it to.